Of course, everyone has a different anatomy, everyone has a different tongue, and everyone has to figure out for themselves where that spot is. To improve your articulation on the saxophone, there are a number of targeted exercises that train your tongue control, breathing technique, and the coordination between your lips, tongue, and airflow. Welcome to a new video. It's great to have you back. Today I'm going to give you 7 tips on how you can massively improve your articulation on the saxophone, no matter where you are right now. Number 1, exercises without the full saxophone. Why? Because at first you won't be as distracted. You can really focus on tone production, airflow, and embouchure just by using the mouthpiece or the neck, but of course also on everything your tongue is doing. And the tongue is absolutely essential when playing the saxophone. There are a lot of mistakes you can make there. At the end of this video, I'll reveal the 3 biggest sources of mistakes when it comes to articulation, so make sure you stick around until the end. What can you do with the neck? You can start by holding out long notes. I would always recommend, especially if you haven't been playing for very long, to start by playing without using your tongue. Just focus on your airflow first. Play long notes with the neck. Then you focus on working with ta and da, where ta, this idea, this syllable basically gives you a harder attack and da gives you a softer approach. The hardest part is distinguishing between the two. Above all, it's the softer approach that's tricky to play, because most people get the hang of that pretty quickly. Then you can play with the neck or the mouthpiece, or explore different rhythms. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Or you mix it up. Da 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 da. That's a great exercise if you do it at the start of your practice session, just to really focus completely on that. The second thing is to alternate between non-legato and staccato. Those are basically the 2 main playing techniques in articulation. Of course, there's a whole wide range in between as well, but we're always moving between short and broad. And how can you practice that well? Now, with the whole saxophone, you try to do it similarly like you just did when warming up with the neck or mouthpiece by alternating. Here's a tip right away. Don't overdo it. It's similar to when you practice trills on the saxophone, when you trill a key really fast. These muscles get overworked very quickly. And if you do it for too long, your tongue will get stiff and tense. So you need to give yourself breaks here. Number 3, scales with targeted articulations. Maybe you know this, that you basically tell yourself beforehand, I'm going to play the scale legato now. I'm going to play the scale non-legato now, so each note is gently tongued. I'll play it staccato. Those are basically the 3 main options. And even though I'm demonstrating it quickly now, definitely try it slowly yourself. Don't go too fast. Always make sure your tongue is relaxed and loose. Take a moment now and then to relax your tongue and give yourself breaks. Number 4, articulation exercise with a metronome. Turn on your metronome and try to articulate together with the metronome, making sure you're in the right beat, that is, at the correct tempo. And here, really focus on playing at a slow tempo. Playing slowly is actually sometimes not that easy. I'll explain why that is in an online course, which I'll link for you up here in the top right corner. Or you can find the description below. Feel free to check it out and see if it's something for you. It's all about rhythm and playing with a metronome on the saxophone. Number 5, tongue position for different notes. First of all, it's already a challenge just to find the right tongue position at all. And now I also have to tell you, every note actually has a slightly different tongue position. And most people don't know that, but you can try it out yourself. For example, when you play a low B or when you play a high F, then you have to, so we're talking about F3 or F number 3 here, or even top tones if you've gotten that far. That's a whole different story where basically with your tongue you get really close to the reed. The differences are, of course, very, very small, but they're still there. So just pay attention to where you touch the reed with your tongue, where you make contact. And most importantly, where that sweet spot is for you, where it's located. Ideally, it should be pretty far forward on the reed. And the part of your tongue that makes contact there should also be pretty close to the tip of your tongue. It doesn't work with the tip of the tongue, and it also doesn't work if you articulate back here. Those are special playing techniques. For example, if you want to create effects like an open slap, where you really pull your tongue away from the reed. But for normal articulation, we're always talking about pretty far forward, so the front part of the tongue. Number 6, playing without the tongue. In the video I'm linking here about why air is so important on the saxophone, I also talked about how it's extremely good to play a lot of things legato at first without using the tongue. Why? Because air control is so crucial. The tongue significantly messes up our air control. If we don't properly handle the tongue, it completely ruins our ability to control our air. This is a crucial aspect of vocal production. So feel free to try it without the instrument too, just with the neck or the mouthpiece. Basically with your throat. Notes without an initial attack. For the attack, for the accent, to accent, to accent. For example, you can also try this in pieces you play that have different articulations. Just give it a try there. Number 7, phrasing with articulation. This is a really cool thing that I personally love to do because it's kind of like multidimensional learning. You take a piece you're playing and you change it up. So, for example, it has the standard articulation written in with slurs, staccato, maybe tenuto marks, accents, portato, whatever. And you try to change up that articulation as well. This gives you a different perspective on the piece, and you also learn it from another angle. But of course, you always go back to the original as well. I'll show you here as an example how I do it. It's so good because basically you end up transforming the piece, maybe even into a different style. Let's take a jazz standard, for example. You might play Autumn Leaves once as if it were a march. Or then you play it like a jazz waltz. Then you play it as a completely free improvisation. Or then you play it like a classical piece. Basically, you're giving it different viewpoints, different perspectives, different genres. And that way, you also see what kind of power, what kind of impact articulation really has when playing the saxophone. It's basically the same as with our language. It kind of sets the direction. Of course, we have our voice, which you can of course change, but it's also just there. And every person has their own typical vocal timbre. But with articulation, that's where we can make distinctions. And depending on how fast, how hard, or how softly I speak, it creates a completely different message. And that's exactly what we can take advantage of in music as well. So now let's get to the three main problems with articulation on the saxophone that I mentioned at the beginning. Number one, attacking the notes way too hard. For most people, they articulate very hard, and while the hard articulation works, the soft attack either doesn't work well or doesn't work at all. And there are reasons for that. Often it's due to the material, that the equipment isn't the best. If I have a very hard reed and a very open mouthpiece, then of course it's pretty difficult to achieve a soft articulation, because I simply need a lot of power and a lot of pressure just to get any sound out at all. With a narrower mouthpiece, it's already easier. It's not super easy, you still have to practice, of course, but the choice of equipment really does have an impact. My tip, if you're heading in a classical direction, try Selmer mouthpiece concept, S80, S90, NIM with a 2.5 to 3 strength reed, Van Doren Blue Box or V12. And just see how you get along with that. That's a reed combination and so on. With the setup, you can definitely articulate very softly and smoothly. Number two, inaccurate tongue placement. So where is your tongue? That's what I already mentioned. When you articulate, you try to use the tip of your tongue at the tip of the reed, almost going between the mouthpiece and the reed. I've seen that happen a lot. That leads to this. So that almost nothing comes out anymore. Or you're way too far back where the sound kind of squeaks away or sounds hollow. There's a sweet spot, a certain space and frame where you can move, but of course, everyone has a different anatomy, everyone has a different tongue, and everyone has to figure out for themselves where that spot is. So this position, where do I make contact, that's a very, very common source of mistakes. And the third thing is an inconsistent airflow. Without air, nothing works at all with this horn. It's a woodwind instrument, so we need air. And when articulating, when making contact, a lot of people always focus on this embouchure, the tongue area. But basically, it's the air that even gives us the possibility for a sound to come out here at all. And it's on this air that we articulate with the tongue. It's like when I speak, without air. I can speak, but you won't understand anything. My airflow is basically important so that I can articulate anything at all. The 7 exercises I mentioned to you are also great for training your airflow, especially trying to articulate without the tongue sometimes, daring to connect the notes as well. And then I'll share a nice piece of wisdom for wind players with you. I've heard it many times in my life already. I was always told, this is a Saxon wind player's wisdom that other woodwind players here in Saxony have probably internalized for generations. And it means articulate on the air. You have a stream of air and you move along this air. That's it. Exactly, that's important if you want to master articulation on the saxophone. And I think this isn't just about the classical field. It's also really beneficial for jazz and pop if your airflow is right and you can articulate on the air. From October 18th to 20th, my saxophone retreat will take place in Siefenersdorf, Eastern Saxony. It's a beautiful, idyllic place. It's a former windmill. Don't worry though, we're not sleeping in the windmill. And the rehearsals aren't in the windmill either. There's a wonderful seminar center there with great rooms, excellent food, and really nice people. This year, I'm doing it for the 3rd time after February and May. Now October will be the 3rd time. Saxophone retreat. And there are still a few spots left, so if you're interested, if you feel like joining, get in touch with me. I'll put my contact information right below this video. Then you can see if it's something for you. You'll also find more information below this video. My school group is growing with almost 80 participants. The exchange is becoming more and more active. There's already a lot going on in the background, and soon a lot of new things will be launching there. Inspiration, input, and above all, right now, a lot of exchange is happening, exchange at an extremely high level. And I want to give a compliment to everyone who's participating so actively and really making it such a valuable resource. And it's not just a forum. Of course, it's similar to a forum, but that's going to change as well. But it's a forum on a very high level, and above all, I'd say the way people interact with each other there, that is something really special, and I think that's great. If that sounds like something for you, feel free to check it out. You'll find the link below the video. It's free. It's still free. I said it will remain free for the first 100 participants. Just take a look. You can join with just 2 clicks. My last video turned out a bit longer, 50 minutes. In September, I was with Tony Robbins, a coach from America, and spent 4 days with him, and with 13,000 other crazy people, which I spent there, and it was an amazing time. If you're interested in what my experience was like, I share all of that there, so feel free to check out that video. It's all about mindset there, which is also really important for playing saxophone, for making music, just how crucial that can be. So especially if you're asking yourself, wow, I practice so much and I'm really putting in the effort, but somehow I'm just not making progress, then there might be some really valuable tips for you there. That's it for today. I wish you a wonderful week. See you very soon. Bye.